are. My name is Idah Mboya. I'm a Kenyan, a student at Howard University in the United States. I'm happy to be here with you today, and I'll share what I know about medicine, and you guys can help me because I know I might not have all the information. So thank you so much for having me here today. I'm taking nursing major and biology minor. So yeah, I'm happy to be here today to give a little background of who I am. I studied at St. Bakita Bahati Girls in Nakuru, and I got an A plane of 82 points, I thank God. And I joined Equity after that, and we were given an overview of how to apply to study in the United States, and now I'm here. I'm so happy to be with you guys, and thank you so much. So I'm gonna share my screen right now. Give me a second. Um, Give me a second, guys. So okay, so I'm set right now. Let us start. Can you guys see my screen? Anyone?
Yes, can
see.
see.
We can see the screen.
Thank you so much. So I'll say that my name is Idah Mboya. I'm studying at Howard University in the United States, and I'm taking nursing major and biology minor. I'm from Kenya, and thank you so much, guys, for having me here today. So we are going to talk about how we can study medicine in the United States as international students. So first of all, what is medicine, or how can someone become a licensed medical doctor in the United States? So medicine here is a doctoral level of profession that requires an MD or a DO degree. So what is an MD? An MD is a doctor of medicine. It is the traditional medical doctor that we know, a surgeon, yeah. And then a DO is doctor of osteopathic medicine. And this means that you are a doctor, you are a licensed doctor, a surgeon, but you also use, or you've studied extra training in hands-on techniques and stuff like that. So an MD is a doctor who treats illness, and the major difference is that an MD treats or major in treating illnesses, while a DO can treat the whole person. So if you are a cancer patient and you go to a doctor who is a DO, he or she can treat your cancer and also look for other things. So I hope it's understood. So we have different stages of studies here in the United States to become a licensed doctor. So first of all, you must have a bachelor's degree. So we all know that in Kenya, you study your high school, you study your KCSE, and then you can join a medical school from there. But in the United States, it's kind of different because you cannot join a medical school from high school directly. You have to have a certain degree for 4 years and then you join a medical school. So after you've joined that medical school and you've graduated, you're going to join a medical school, and you can either choose to be an MD or a DO. And then you, after graduating from medical school, you'll go to your residency. That's where you'll specialize in a different fields in medicine. If you want to be a cardiothoracic surgeon, that's where you will specialize in. If you want to be a neurosurgeon, or all those fields, so you will specialize in your field when you are in your resident years. And the residency takes 3 to 7 years. So the total years to become a licensed medical doctor in the United States is 11 to 15 years. So it's not a short path, it's a long path, and it's possible. So before I start, there are some things that as international students we need to know. There are things that we need to know before we start our application or before we start our medical journey here in the United States. So I've said that there are no MBBs after high school. MBBs is Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery. So after high school, you can take or go study any major, and then after that is when you join a medical school, because medicine in the United States is a graduate program. It's not an undergraduate program as in Kenya and other countries. So we have roughly 800 medical schools in the United States, 200, sorry. So there are approximately 200 medical schools in the United States, and not all medical schools in the United States accept international students. So fewer than 70 will accept international students. So this tells us how competitive and how limited opportunities international students have. So in a year, the total number of international students that are usually accepted are less than 1,000. So yeah, it's very, very competitive. And Africans are not the only people who are applying. There are different people from different continents, so, and only fewer than 1,000 are accepted. So it's very, very competitive. So here in the United States, we have public schools and private schools. So public schools generally do not accept international students. They prioritize in US citizens and permanent residents, So as international students, we are only accepted in private schools. So that's where we can study our medical programs or our medical degrees. So most US medical schools require pre-med courses to be completed in the US, UK, or Canada, and I'll explain this. I know most of us, we've had pre-med, but we don't know what pre-med is, so I'm gonna talk about it right now. So most of the US schools will require you to have your pre-med courses taken here in the US, Canada, or UK. But if you've done your degree or you've done your pre-med courses in Africa or other countries, they will be evaluated. An evaluation will be made, and not all courses will be accepted. They might accept all, and they may not accept all the courses that you've taken from those other countries, apart from US, UK, and Canada. So I hope you've understood that. And then the final thing here is international students are not eligible for US federal loans. So here in the US, government provide loans to help students to cover for their tuition. So international students are not eligible for that. Even right now, those people who are taking undergraduate like me, we are not eligible for the loans here in the US. So if you're going to study medicine in the United States, you have to look for outside scholarships or fully funded programs. There are universities here that provide full scholarships, and some of them provide a generous aid. So you have to look for a little percentage of the tuition. So I know we've said a lot, and some people are saying, no, it's difficult. So I want to tell you that it's not difficult, it's possible. You have to be exceptional. Everything that we do, if you want to, medicine is not an easy journey, and it's not something that is cheap. So if you want that good school, if you want to be that good doctor here in the United States, you have to stand out. So it's possible. So we're going to talk about pre-med courses. So what is pre-med? Pre-med is a track. It's not a major or a degree program. It's a track. So if I say I'm taking a nursing major pre-med track, that means that I'm going to study my medicine here in the United States. So if I'm taking my nursing right now, I'm doing other courses that are going to lead me into the medical school. So like right now, I'm taking nursing, and in nursing, we are not doing all the courses that are required for us to join the medical school. And that's why I decided to take the biology major, okay? So someone might be wondering that what if I'm doing history or English or I'm taking teaching? So this is it. You can major in anything. You can take any degree. You can do any degree that you want, but you must take these specific courses or classes. So the courses that are on the screen right now, they are the pre-med courses. These are the courses that are mandatory for you to take before applying to join a medical school. So they are biology or general biology. So here in the United States, biology is divided into two. So we have biology 1 and biology 2. So biology 1 is that overview, and then biology 2 is where you will dive deeper into biology, the human body, living things, and all those stuff. So you have to take general biology 1 and 2, general chemistry 1 and 2, organic chem, biochemistry, physics, English, and statistics. So these are the pre-med courses that you have to take. So if you are taking history, for example, you can just do that history and get your history degree, but you have to take these pre-med courses for you to apply to join your medical school after your degree. Yeah, so, and then you must aim to have a higher GPA, because we know doctors are required to be, they say doctors should be intelligent, very, very intelligent, because you're going to deal with a human body. You don't want to go there and mess up someone's life. Doctors are not allowed to fail, because if you fail, it will cost you someone else's life. So you have to have a higher GPA. So schools usually accept GPA of 3.7 and above. So the highest GPA that you can achieve is 4.0, and schools usually require 3.7 and above. So that tells you how much you need to study. So these are the requirements before applying for your medical school, or if you want to apply for your medical school, you must have this. So the first one is bachelor's degree, because we've said that medicine here in the United States, it's not an undergraduate program, it's a master's program. So you have to have a certain degree, and then you apply to join your medical school. So bachelor's degree, You have to take your pre-med courses. We've talked about them. You have to have an MCAT score. So we'll talk about MCAT later. It's a test that you need to take before joining a medical school. So we'll talk about it later. Letters of recommendation, research experience. I know when you're taking our undergraduate degrees or our undergraduate programs, we usually have to do some research and stuff like that. So you have to have some research experience, clinical experience, or volunteering in a hospital or in a clinical office. So English proficiency, most US schools require you to take an English proficiency because you are going into the medical field. You are required to talk to people. How are you going to talk to people if you are not proficient in English or in other languages that those people understand? So proof of funding and an F1 student visa. So I'll answer other questions later. I just want us to go through everything right now. And if you have any questions, we will answer them later. So what or how is the application process? So we've said that you are going to take your degree and your pre-med courses. So what next? After that, you will sit for your MCAT test. This is a medical college admission test that all students who want to study medicine in the United States have to take. So the test usually takes 7.5 hours and you're tested on biology, physics, psychology, and critical analysis. So this is going to be easy if you really study when taking your pre-med courses, okay? And it's not a free test. You have to pay something for you to take it. So right now, last year, it was $355. So it might vary. So yeah. Then you take it 1 year before applying. So you're supposed to take your MCAT exam 1 year before applying to join your medical school. Okay, and then the MCAT test is usually out of 528. So because medical schools are very, very competitive, especially for international students. So it's out of 528. So as international students, you have to have 515 and above. So that tells you how medical students do study. And if you want to go study medicine, you have to study. So it's out of 528, you have to have 515 and above or 513 and above. I inquired from a professor here in my school, and they said here at Howard University, they might accept 510 and above. So, yeah. So, what are the steps after taking your MCAT exams? What do you need to do? So, we have a primary application, and this means you apply via their website, which is MCAS. So, this is a website that students apply to. So I know you guys have heard of Common App. So Common App, you apply to study your undergraduate programs. But if you're going to join your medical school, if you're applying to join your medical school, you're going to apply using the AMCAS website. And that the acronym in full is American Medical College Application Service. So it's a website. So in that application process, the primary application process, what do you need to do? You submit your transcripts, your MCAT score, some essays, and letters of recommendation. Okay? So after you've done that, you're going to wait for a period of 2 to 6 weeks. And if your application is accepted, you will receive an email that is telling you to complete your application. So we have the primary part of application and secondary part of application. So after your application has been accepted, your primary application, you will receive an email saying that please complete your secondary part of application. And what do you do during the secondary part of application? You write school-specific essays now. So if I want to apply to Harvard Medical School, I'll write the essay that Harvard Medical School wants me to write. And if I'm going to study at Johns Hopkins Medical School, I'll write that essay. So yeah, that's the general thing, or what we do during what you need to do during the secondary application process. And then you're going to wait, and if you're accepted, you will have an interview. It can be either in person or virtual, and then you wait after some time and you get your decision. So decision means you can be accepted or rejected. And then the total minimum schools that you need to apply to are 15 to 20 schools. So you have a wide range of schools to apply to. So let us talk about tuition and scholarships. So internationals cannot get US federal loans. We've talked about that. International students may not get some or most US government scholarships, and then federal work study. So I'm going to talk about work study. So work study is when you're studying and then you're working at the same time. But if you're an international student, you either have an F1 visa or a J1 visa. So you are not allowed to work outside of school when you have those two types of visas, okay? You can work on campus, but not outside the school. Or you can work outside the school if it's approved. You go to the international student office, you talk to them, and then they may see if you are eligible to work outside the school or not. So the tuition fee ranges from $75,000 to $105,000 per year. So this is a lot of money, and so it requires, maybe you have a scholarship, or if your parents are able, yeah, it will be better for you. So what are the types of scholarships that are available now? Because these schools, they have certain types of scholarships that international students can apply for. So we have university-specific merit scholarships. So you might find that a school is not offering full scholarships, but they provide certain merit scholarships that you can apply for. So a merit scholarship is based on your academic performance. So you have to have a good or higher GPA for you to receive these scholarships. We have need-based aid or need-based scholarship. So these are based on your need. If you come from a humble background and you prove that your parents cannot pay your tuition fee, you can get these scholarships, but they're usually rare. And then we have private foundation scholarships. So each school, the schools usually have private foundations that donate funding to them. They usually have private foundation that can donate money. So you have to apply to for that scholarship. Sorry guys, there's some people who are doing something. And then we have fully funded programs. So there are schools that provide full tuition fee and full scholarships to international students. Sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. Let me wait 2 seconds for them to go. Yeah, thank you. And then we have outside scholarships. So outside scholarships, are organization. We have organizations that do provide outside scholarships to international students. So, like Fulbright, we have Study USA. They are usually limited, but you can try your luck. And then now we are going to talk about universities with full funding and those universities with generous scholarships. So the universities, as you know, we've talked about the tuition fee, which ranges from $75,000 to $105,000 per year. So that is a very large amount of money, and few schools will offer you full scholarships. And if a school offers full scholarship, that tells you how competitive the school is. So we have this, you can take a screenshot or write them down. So these are some scholarships or schools that provide full funding. And on my right side, these are schools that will give you generous aid, or they will give you like 50 to 100 percent of the scholarship. Then you have to look for the rest. So you can take a screenshot. And then if a school offers full scholarship, it's either merit based or um, need based. So need based, you have to give them the proof of funding. You have to provide them with your parents' bank statements that show that you cannot pay for your tuition. So many schools do not guarantee full funding, and the scholarships are based on financial need or academic merit. And then you must show proof of ability to cover your living expenses. So if your parents are not able to pay for the scholarship, what can you do? You can look for outside scholarships, and your sponsor should write for you a sponsor letter. So that's what you will use as a proof of funding or the proof of ability to cover your living expenses. So the key takeaway here is that full funding are very, very rare, and only a few schools offer it. So most universities provide partial or need-based aid. So yeah, let's go on. So what is the action plan? Right now we know how to apply, what you need to do. So we're going to talk about our action plan, or what international students need to know from the beginning. So first of all, you have to do or start doing your research on the schools that accept international students. So do your research, look at the schools that accept international students and their requirements. Earn your degree. If you're taking history, you have to take that history, have that degree plus the pre-med courses. Okay. So strong academic performance are very mandatory, like they are mandatory. You have to have a strong academic performance. Prepare for your MCAT, we've talked about it. You have to gain some clinical experience, some research experience by volunteering or starting something to do with medicine or health. You build your relationships for strong recommendation letters. Who is going to write your recommendation letters? Your professor. Okay, your professors are going to write your recommendation letters, and you have to build strong relationships with them. So if you're going to take your pre-med courses, you will choose two professors who are taking you through sciences, and one professor either who is taking you through English or psychology. Okay, so yeah, you will choose two professors who are taking you who will be taking you through sciences, and one professor who may be taking you through English or psychology or biochemistry. Yeah. And some schools may want more than 3 recommendation letters, but they will tell you, or you need to do your research right now so that you know it early before starting your application. you have to plan your finances. Plan how you have to have that question in your mind. How will I find my scholarship, or how will I cover my tuition fee? So plan your finances early and then prepare a strong application. In everything, you have to stand out. Your application should be strong. Your personal statement, your essays, extracurricular activities that are meaningful. So prepare a strong application. So these are the key takeaways for our meeting today. The US medical path is long because you have to have your degree, you take your pre-med courses, you do that MCAT test, then you apply for your medical school. After graduating from your medical school, you go to or you take your residency. That's where you will specialize in the field you want to take. And then admissions are highly competitive. A lot of students are applying. And I told you guys that last year, 2025, they accepted less than 1,000 international students. So, yeah, it's very, very competitive. So, you have to stand out. And few medical schools accept international students or international applicants. So, you do your research and find out which schools accept international students and which schools do not. And financial planning is very, very critical. So start early. If you're going to apply for scholarships, start doing your research now. You have to have strong academic performance, experiences. Yeah. And then early preparation makes a big difference. If you want to succeed in something, you have to start early. You don't want that you don't want to have a lot of things jam. You don't want to have jam of loads or a lot of things to do. So start early. And then the final thing that I can tell you guys is start early, stay focused, and believe in your ability to succeed. What you achieve begins with your mindset. Everything is in the mind. If I say I'm going to Harvard School, and I be positive about it and stay focused, I'll definitely go to Harvard Medical School. So, guys, you have to have that positive mindset. You stay focused, start early, and believe in yourself, believe in your ability to succeed. And finally, I'm going to have some questions. If you have questions, you can ask now. Yeah. Any question, guys? Or where you need clarification? Anyone, any question?
Thank
Any
you very
question?
much, Ida. Thank you for the wonderful session. I can see a question. Someone on the chat, Colin
Oh, yeah.
Sanyango, is asking,
Uh-huh.
what do you mean by they are usually rare? They are need-based scholarships. So you can just clarify on need-based scholarship. And then
Okay.
I think I see another question. And
Mhm.
you were typing, but your question was not complete. So if you can just complete the typing. In the meantime, Ida, you can respond.
So the person is asking about need-based scholarships and what I mean by saying they are rare, right?
That's
Um,
right.
okay. So need-based scholarship means you're provided with the scholarship based on your needs. Like if you're coming from a humble background, if your parents are not able to cater for your tuition, they will provide you with a scholarship based on that. So you have to provide them with your parents' bank statements so that they can see, or it's used as an evidence that you come from a humble background or you cannot cover your tuition. So that is need based. And what I mean by saying they are rare is that they are very, very limited for international students. You know, as international students, most of us come from humble backgrounds, and not all US universities have the money to pay for all of us, okay? So they are very, very rare, limited for international students. Yeah. Not all schools will cover our tuition. Like, you know, we have Columbia University, Harvard, Yale. Those schools provide need-based financial aids or need-based scholarships. And not all students who apply to Harvard, Yale, or Columbia get in because they are limited. If, for example, they have 100 need-based scholarships and there are 1,000 students who have applied, that tells you how limited chances we have or opportunities we have. So I don't know. Have I answered your question well?
That's great. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
Thank you.
Anne Kalondu asks,
Mhm.
clarity. So I have to study undergraduate medicine here in Kenya to proceed as a postgraduate. I think please clarify on that because a number of them might have
Okay.
gotten confused.
Okay. So I said, or we've said that medicine here in the United States is not an undergraduate program. It's a postgraduate or postgraduate program. So you have to have a certain degree plus your pre-med courses for you to apply to join a medical school. So if you're studying medicine in Kenya, you will use, or they will need an evaluation, okay? They will evaluate your courses, and not all courses will be accepted. Okay, you have to be in the same line with them for you to be accepted. So I know in Kenya we have a very holistic program in medicine. It's very hard, and you might take all these courses, and then when they evaluate your transcript or your courses, they accept only a few. It's because they want you to be aligned with them. So if you take your medicine in Kenya, it's okay. You will have to come here and do your medical school. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. So you will take or come with your transcript, then they evaluate, accept a few courses, and then you're good to go. So it doesn't matter. They don't care, in short. They don't care whether you've done your medicine in a certain school. Yeah. So you have to be evaluated, and then you join their medical school. I don't know if I've answered your question well. Any question?
Okay, I see Anne says yes, you did answer the question very well.
Okay.
Then there's a question from Griffin. And I love it that we are having a conversation about medicine, by the way, because we have quite a number of students who've been very stuck on, I want to do medicine, I want to do medicine. And especially in the US, you find that there isn't, even in Africa, like you find there isn't a lot of proper medical scholarships. So this is a proper conversation. All right. Griffin Sonyang, Griffin Sodongo, sorry, says you said that the pre-med course is a requirement for application. How do I get to acquire these pre-med courses, and can they be done concurrently?
Okay, so I'll talk about, or I'll answer that question using my own experience or whatever I'm doing right now. So I'm taking nursing. So the reason why I chose nursing first, nursing major, is because I want to graduate and then maybe find a job or something. But I'm also taking that nursing with biology. Okay. So in nursing, we have some courses that are required for me or for us to join the medical school, and there are some courses that are not there. So I chose biology major because all the courses that are required for me to apply for that medical school are in my biology major program. So it's like I'm doing 2 degrees at the same time. Yeah. So if you're taking history, for example, or let me use Kenya as an example, we don't have history, I think so. So if you're studying or taking you want to be a teacher, for example, science teacher or biology teacher. So you have to take that degree and then at the same time take your pre-med courses, the courses that we've talked about. Let me show you guys. So the courses that you need to take alongside your degree are general biology, general chemistry, all these courses. So you can be taking your degree in medical laboratory science, sorry, and then at the same time you're taking all these courses. You have to have these courses, and if you haven't taken these courses, or if you don't want to take 2 degrees at the same time or study a lot of things in a span of 4 years, you can graduate and then take these courses after your graduation. So for me, in my nursing program, I won't study this course called organic chem. I won't study general chemistry 2, and I won't study physics 1 and 2. So that's why I'm taking my biology minor, because everything is there. So I hope I've answered your question well, Griffins. So you can either take your degree alongside these pre-med courses or graduate and then come here in the United States and take these pre-med courses. Any other question?
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. Thank you for that. So there's a question from Joshua. Hello, good evening. I have a diploma in physiotherapy and I wanted to pursue an extension in the US. So my question is, how can I convert that to an associate degree in the US and what I need to know about it? So
Okay, so you have your diploma, okay? If you're in Kenya and you want to proceed with your studies, after your diploma, you have to take your degree. Same to here in the United States. If you have your diploma, you have to apply for that degree. First, you have to study for your degree program, because I think United States, they don't know what a diploma is. So you will apply either as a first year student or as a transfer student for your degree program, or you apply to join you apply for a community college. In the community colleges, after your graduation, what you will have is called an associate degree. So after studying for your associate degree, you will join a 4-year university where you will get that degree. Okay? So diploma, you can either apply for a 4-year university here, and then after graduation you have your degree, or apply for a community college or to a community college. After your 3 years of studies in a community college, you'll have your associate degree. After that, you'll apply to join a 4-year university here. So it's a long process, but yeah. So any other question or
there,
clarification?
Yeah, there's a number of questions. The good thing is that, as I told you, this is a topic that has been a matter of great inquiry over time.
Yeah.
So the other question is, what if I study? Or I think you had answered a bit of this, but let me just ask once again and then couple it with the other question. What if I study in Kenya? This is from Baraka Thiga. What if I study in Kenya and graduate with Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery, MBCHB? Can I go directly to residency, or do I still have to go through medical school? And then does the bachelor degree have to be in a medical related field?
Okay.
Okay. Then I can couple that with another one. Is that fine?
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So the other question is, do I have to go to medical school to do biomedical science and technology, or it would be pre-medical degree? And how does biomedical science and technology, how is biomedical science and technology in the US?
Okay. So if you have your medical degree from Kenya and then you want to be a doctor here in the United States, there are steps that you need to take. Okay, you cannot just come here and join the residency program because they don't know what you've been taught there. The program that is taught in Kenya or the Kenyan system is different from the US system. So there are ways in which or steps that you need to take for you to join your residency program. So what you need to have is something called UCMLE, and I think that is an exam where you will be examined and they will see whether you are fit to join their residency program or you need to take some years in the medical school. So the Kenyan MBCHB degree is a valid medical degree, but you have to meet the US standards. They will either provide you with a test to take or tell you to do some courses here. So yeah, I think I've answered your question well, or if you need any clarification, you can ask me. So no, you don't have or you won't be accepted in a residency program directly from Kenya. There are steps that you need to take. The US system is different from the Kenyan system. So you will have to take a test or you will have to go through some steps in order to join their residency program. Yeah. And let me add something else before continuing. You know, in Kenya, we have some courses that are not studied here in the United States. And we have courses that are studied here in the United States that are not studied in Kenya. So what you need to have is you have to meet their standards. You have to have to have completed their required courses, okay? And you have to take the MCAT test. So that is something that is mandatory for everyone. So if you pass your MCAT test and you have all the courses that are required, you can join their residency program. And what was the other question, please? I'm so sorry.
The other question was, if one has to go through biomedical school, and then the last part for that question was, how is biomedical science in the US? Biomedical science and technology.
Okay, so the person wants to study biomedical engineering because, okay, what I know here in the United States, I've never heard of biomedical science or biomedical something in techniques. What I know is provided here in the United States is biomedical engineering, or you take biomedical engineering. Okay, so if you want to take your biomedical engineering, that's an undergraduate course. So for me, if I wanted to be a biomedical engineer, I could have applied for it. Okay, it's an undergraduate program. You just apply from high school, you take your undergraduate medical or biomedical engineering course, and then yeah, that's it. It's an undergraduate program, and you don't take it in a medical school. Okay, yeah.
All right. I think, there's another question.
Mm-hmm.
If I study medicine in Kenya and graduate, then I want to specialize to become a
Mm-hmm.
cardiologist in the US. What path would you advise that I follow?
Okay, so I think I've answered that question with the previous question that was asked. Or so this is what you do if you have your Bachelor of Medicine and Bachelor of Surgery degree from Kenya. There are steps that you need to take before you specialize in your field or in your medical field. So first of all, the degree from Kenya is a valid degree, but you have to meet the US standards. Like you have to take the MCAT score. Every doctor here in the United States, lazima, or they must take the MCAT test. So you must take that MCAT test. And if there are some courses that you have not studied, you will have to study them. Okay. So because we've said that Kenyan system is different from the US system, there are some courses that are studied here in the US and they are not studied in Kenya. Okay. So you have to have those courses, you have to complete those courses first. And that what next? I want to talk about something here. When you're in your medical school, you will take 4 years in your medical school here in the United States. And then during your third year, there is something called rotation. And what does rotation mean? So rotation is basically you rotate in different fields. Okay, I want to use another word because I don't want to sound repetitive. Okay, so you just, if you want to study cardiology, you'll have to go to neurosurgery, or you'll have to go to plastic surgery, general surgery. Like you rotate to see whether you like one of them, or whether one or two of them will interest you. So that basically means rotation, like you move from this field to the other. Okay. And then after you've graduated from your medical school, you're going to go to your residency, or you're going to take your residency program. This is where you will specialize in whatever you want to take. Okay. So residency program is basically you're going to the hospital now, but you're going to be trained in whatever field you want to take. So if you want to take you want to be a cardiothoracic surgeon, you will take your cardiothoracic program or fellowship. Yeah. So you will specialize when you're in your residency year or during your residency years. That's when you will specialize it. You will specialize, I mean. Yeah. So, and we have different types of fields that you can take. Cardiothoracic surgeon. If you want to be a cardiothoracic surgeon, that means you will deal with the chest, the heart, and yeah, everything here, the thorax, I mean, and internal organs of the thorax. So specifically, if you want to take your cardiothoracic or you want to major in cardiothoracic surgery, you will first venture in internal medicine, because cardiothoracic surgeons operate in the heart. So, the heart is an internal organ. So you have to venture in internal medicine. After that, you join your cardiothoracic fellowship. So, yeah. No, I'm talking a lot, but I hope you guys are understanding whatever I'm saying. Any other question or any clarification that you guys may need? Are there any other questions?
I think I see one hand up. Let me just confirm if it's still there. Yeah, Brian has his hand up. Brian, do you want to unmute and ask your question so that then we can conclude?
I hope I'm clear.
Brian?
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much for this wonderful chance. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
First, I thank the organizers for this session, and to Ida,
Yeah.
uh, I hope you're comfortable me giving you small background of myself. I did my TCC last year. I scored
Mm-hmm.
a plane of 81 points. I didn't get
Mm-hmm.
an opportunity to go to Equity and be guided on that, but thank you very much. I hope you remember Swahili. Asante sana for this session. Then the other question is about this called scholarship. For example, this need-based aid. If I wanted
Mm-hmm.
to, if I wanted to apply them from Kenya, unaweza niambia hiyo process tafadhali?
The process of applying for your need-based scholarship.
Yes.
Okay, so Brian, I hope it's Brian, yeah. So this is what you do. For me, or for you to take your undergraduate program in the United States, you will apply via the Common App. Okay, so Common App is a website that allows you to apply to over or 20 maximum 20 schools. So first of all, what you need to know is the type of scholarship that these schools offer. Some schools offer merit-based scholarship, some schools offer need-based scholarship. So we've talked about the difference of the two. And then so you have to know whether the school you're applying to will offer you a need-based scholarship or merit-based scholarship. After that, after completing your application and submitting your application to the various schools that you've applied to, you are going to apply for their financial aid or that scholarship. And schools usually use several types of ways, or they have different types of ways of application. So some schools will use a certain website called CSS profile. Okay, so CSS profile is a website. You will be asked questions about your parents' mode of income, or how they earn their money and how they use their money annually. And then some schools use something called ISFA, and ISFA is a form that you fill in. So you will be asked questions of, the same questions: how your parents earn their money, how they use their money annually. So you either use ISFA or CSS profile, depending on the school that you are applying to. And yes, you can apply for your need-based scholarship when you're in Kenya. Obviously, you will apply for your scholarships and everything when you're in Kenya. So you can do it there.
Thank you very much. Umejibu
Welcome.
swali langu, and
Okay.
there's a request I've sent to you.
Mm-hmm.
Please consider it.
Which request? Sorry. Sorry. Uh-huh.
I think he means he sent a direct message. You can just check.
Oh, okay.
On Zoom. Yeah, all right. So thank you so much, Ida, for the wonderful presentation. I think there is only one question that came to mind as you were doing the presentation. And I think from your LinkedIn, and I've seen that you're an equity scholar, but also an FX scholar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have a number of FX scholars on the call, and I would really wish to have you here, or rather have them hear from you, just award to them who completed their fourth grade, so Form 4. And they got A's and A minuses, and they are looking to do applications. So as an ELP, because I am also an ELP and I am happy to see a fellow ELP, you would realize that at ELP, when most scholars are doing applications, there is this obsession with US schools
Yeah.
that ends as soon as ED results come out. So when we get ED outcomes, the obsession ends and everyone starts realizing that even African universities, Asian universities, Australian universities are actually schools as well. And we've been working with all the scholars for the past 1 or 2 months, depending on when someone joined the program. But then there's a cohort that just started. So of most of the IFAC scholars have been with us for a month now, and we've been doing sessions. First, we did daily sessions, and then now we've been doing weekly check-ins, which are majorly similar to your mentor-mentee meetings at ELP.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. So most of those sessions are scholar-driven. So it's a scholar that will be doing the research and coming to ask, okay, what do I do here? You get like a scholar-driven approach, and we are doing a follow-up. So from the Betterment Africa side, we are doing follow-up and looking into how can we make sure that as many students as possible get opportunities within the opportunities that are available. You know, from business, they say that human needs are insatiable. So we in this space we have that as well, that there is very few opportunities but very many people applying. But then the one challenge that we are seeing is that for most scholars, and especially because they all scored A's, and as an ELP you would understand that the A fever is always there, that yeah, we all are brilliant, we are bright. So how do we make sure that we are applying to all opportunities available, so that in the end, it's not the opportunities that will choose us. We are the ones that will choose the opportunities that we want to take. I don't know if you get my question. I thought of that because we are facing a challenge now with most students who want to apply, and especially apply only to medicine. Because in Kenya, for those who are in Kenya, they're already qualified for medicine. If you scored an A, most likely you will go to UON or KU for medicine. But then when you're applying out here, they don't care what you scored. Really, they don't. And we are looking at that as a major danger for those who are doing their applications now, if they don't diversify their options and realize that applications to ALU are as hectic as applications to Harvard, are as hectic to applications to Cape Town or Pretoria. So you can probably spend a minute or so to clarify that from your journey, because someone might see that you're studying a medical or looking into a medical pathway in the US and be like, yeah, I want to be like Idah, but they don't know what you've had, your opportunity cost, what you've had to forego in the journey. And probably you also have seen other students who have been looking to come your way, but then they have had to take other different paths, and those paths have worked for them. So stick to it. And finally, in respect to that, majorly or most times as scholars and top achieving scholars, we end up selling ourselves cheap and looking at opportunities that have been created in our minds to be the only available opportunities and the only available options as the only thing that we can do. But instead, we can explore all the available opportunities and all that we can apply to get to one opportunity that will be the game changer for us. Yeah.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. So, guys, when we talk about opportunities, or when opportunities are presented to us, it's important for us not to narrow down our vision to only one country or one system, because we know that many students from Kenya are going to Harvard, or many students from Kenya are going to the United States. Please don't do that. So for me, I think I had that mindset too, because I did not explore other opportunities. I did not apply to Turkey. I did not apply to Asia or other countries. I only focused on the United States. And another mistake that I did is focusing on these highly selective schools. I applied to University of Pennsylvania, Princeton University, and those universities are very, very competitive. And yeah, you can join those universities, but please, you have to have a wider vision, okay? Because opportunities are everywhere, and you can also create your own opportunities and inspire others through your journey. So you can apply to go study in Asia, Europe, Turkey, those countries, Hungary, or even in Africa, not specifically USA. And for those people who want to study medicine, I'd prefer Turkey, because yeah, I'm saying even right now, I usually say that if I had applied to Turkey, I think ningekuwa na an easier path than here in the United States, because Turkey is like Kenya or other countries in Africa. You study medicine for 6 years. After that, you get your degree and you can be licensed to be a medical doctor or a licensed medical doctor. And here in the United States, I'll have to go through all those processes that you've talked about, spend like 10 to 11 to 15 years for before being licensed. So guys, please don't narrow your vision into one thing. Don't narrow your vision into one country or think of United States only. You can apply to Turkey, you can apply to Asia, go study in Asia, and there are very, very strong universities, medical training programs, and research institutions in those countries. So yeah, I think.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. I think when you mentioned the aspect of 13 years, it just brought to me a very great reality that I have realized over time, because I've been working with scholars now for the last 6 years. And one thing I have learned is the the factor of destiny, or the metrics, the unit of destiny. Yeah, that's the right word. The unit of destiny is time. So if you are looking to do your degree 6 years in Kenya and complete, 6 years you will have a degree, you will be done. If you're looking to do your degree 4 years in Kenya, you will do 4 years, you will be done in 4 years. And then you're able to do other things, because life is not just about career. And that's very important at this age and at this level to realize, because we oftentimes have been engulfed in that, I want to achieve, I want to achieve. It's good to achieve, but having a balanced life, because then you don't want to appear in front of people. You can't even say a thing. You can't even speak in front of people, because now they are not speaking your language. All you know is medicine. All you know is, say, architecture. Like, having a balance, that would be very helpful, so that then, as we are going through these opportunities journey, one will not look at it as it's an avenue for other people only, but also you not look at it as it's an avenue for only one thing. I think that's one of the things I realized, because I've shared with a couple of the scholars that in my experience, when I was doing my applications in the beginning, I only knew that these scholarships and all these things are for other people. So at ELP, when they were saying do SAT, because recently I even asked for who would be willing, because for the IFAC scholars, IFAC has given a couple of SAT codes, like waiver codes through Harley Network. So I asked, no one has reached out to say I want SAT waiver codes, because yeah, most of them don't see the essence of it, and that is the hard and the hard truth that people come to realize later. When I did 4 years at UON, I was at my third year and I was like, look at my friends who went to this and this country. It doesn't have to be the US. You even look at your friends who went to Australia. They will seem by all means, everything around you will be telling you, hey, failure. If you would put Sauti ya Atuoli hapo, failure. So it's important for us not, as I mentioned, not to sell ourselves cheap and to explore any of the opportunities. I've been preaching this gospel for the last, I don't know how many weeks now. And that is very, very important. So it might be something that we are looking at as just as just an opportunity. But truth is that opportunity comes once in a lifetime. So thank you so
Yeah.
much for that
Thank you.
wonderful presentation, and thanks to Scholastica. So when we were having this conversation with Scholar is when she said, yeah, I know of someone who is currently in a medical trajectory, so currently doing nursing. And I was like, sure, let's have that conversation and let's make it happen. And I am happy that I know we've pushed it. It was to be last week, and then we were like, something was
I wasn't prepared. Sorry.
yeah, but I'm happy when I listened to you today. When I
Mhm.
listened to you today in the presentation, I was like, no, this was actually worth it because we took time. They taught me something at Equity, that no one cares how long it took you to do something. No
Yeah.
one cares how long. Everyone cares how well you did it. Yeah,
Yeah.
we don't care that Thomas Edison did 999 times. We only care that he actually did it, and today we have a light bulb. So
Mhm.
well done, well done, well done. Thank you so much, and
You.
appreciate your time and commitment. And
Mhm.
I would really, really, really be happy when we have the numbers of those who get these opportunities going up, and especially because now they have the information about what goes about in applications, and the recording will be availed to them as well, so that if someone missed out on anything, they're able to access that recording, and they're able to see or hear what it is that you presented. And so that this will outlive this conversation. And I believe that for those who probably just joined this session specifically and they have not been part of the other sessions, you also got to learn something. So we usually would have weekly sessions with all the scholars that are enrolled on the Betterment Africa Twende Maju Tukasome program. And this is after the cohort is done. And for those who are currently on the cohort 2, we are continuing to do these sessions because this is where it all starts. You start by training, you
Yeah.
train well so that you're able to, as it happens in war, when it comes to the time for battle, when it comes to the time to write essays properly, then
Mhm.
the fight becomes easy. So at this point, for all of us, we will have this call ended. And then to all of us, please check your mentor mentee groups and all the other platforms, and you will be able to receive information on what happens next. But I think we can give a round of applause to Ida for the wonderful presentation, and then we progress on to, yeah, come on, guys, please do justice, do justice. Give a round of
Thank you
applause.
so much.
Yeah, I really appreciate your
Yeah.
support and
Mhm.
appreciate your commitment, because this is not time wasted. I can assure you that we will have stories of impact from
Yeah.
this.
So
All right.
thank you so much.
Yeah, I
Thank
actually
you.
wanted to ask if you have a parting shot.
Okay. Thank you so much, Josiah. Thank you, everyone, for listening to me. And I want to tell you guys to widen your perspective, widen your mindset. You can also explore opportunities in Africa, because I know in Africa we have a lot of opportunities in other countries. So if you don't want to study in Kenya and you think United States is not for you, you can also explore opportunities in Africa. Students study in Ghana and they really have amazing stories at the end of their studies. So thank you so much for listening to me and for being attentive. Thank you for your questions. Actually, this is my first time presenting to an audience, so I'm really honored. Thank you so much. Believe in yourself, and yeah, you've got this. Thank you.
Wow. It actually didn't seem like your first time, so you really did it so well, like a news anchor. Step by step and very well prepared. So thank you. Really, really, really appreciate this because this is the beginning, and we are sure that we will have so many of the stories of impact coming our way. All right. So thank you, and to all of us, please check your mentor mentee group or the group cohort groups, and you receive information on the next steps. All right. Thank you so much, and have a great evening.